Question 4. A graph is drawn to illustrate the amount of cake each person receives when a 720 gram cake is divided among increasing numbers of people. Which graph could be used? Each of these graphs has the amount of cake in grams on your y-axis and the number of people, let's call that n, on the x-axis. Now, if I wanted to translate this, or one of the things I could do to start with is I could translate what I'm reading here into an actual equation. And by doing so, I might be able to recognize what this looks like in relation to our general equations for different types of graphs and be able to match them according to what the equations looks like. So if we're reading this, it says here that each person receives, so how many grams a person receives when a 720 gram cake is divided among increasing numbers of people. So I read that as the grams we get is equal to 720 grams divided by the number of people we have, or G equals 720 divided by N. You could replace the G and the N with the Y and the X, just to help you a little bit if you need that. You might then be able to say, well, this equation looks similar to the inversely proportional equation of y equals some constant divided by x. Recognizing that straight line equals y equals mx plus c. This could be part of a parabola, not too sure what that is, and an exponential y equals a to the x. These two are the most closely matched, so you could say C. If you're not convinced, maybe you're thinking, oh, it's either B or C, and you're not sure about B, you could also then plot some points, or even if you can't recognize these equations, you could go about plotting points to help you. So getting to this equation here, G equals 720 over N, I'm going to substitute some values in. I normally start with N equals 0 or X equals 0 because it's a good judge of where it's cutting the y-axis. Now, if you plug in N equals 0, okay, 0 people, how many grams of cake does each person get if there's 720 grams when there's no people? Well, that doesn't really make sense. We don't divide by 0. We tried to do that in our calculator, we would get an error. Yet on this graph for N equals 0, this comes up with a value, as does this one and as does this one. This is the only one that doesn't come up with a value at N equals 0. So this one here could possibly be it. Here, I need some more convincing. So I might plug in a couple more numbers. So for one person dividing 720 grams of cake, that person gets 720 grams. So looking at 1, going up, yep, I can't see any value. Going up at 1 here, definitely not 720. Coming up 1 here, definitely not 720. And this one also isn't 720. But I want to be super sure, so I'm going to just check some more numbers. So N equals 2. I take 720 dividing by 2. Each person gets 360 grams. So if I go up to 2, yes, that does work out to be approximately 360 grams. And N equals 10. Dividing that by 10, you get 72. Checking that out, yep, that is correct. I do get about 72 there. So yes, I can confidently say that C is my equation, is my answer. So if you're having a look, the intention of this type of question really is to link this equation with this one here. But if you're not there yet, there are steps that you can still take that are quick steps to be able to help you identify which it is. But do try and work towards recognizing the different types of general equations of the different types of graphs.